Hi everyone, I'm Dave Ammerman, and I have a special item here that's featured in our auction ending on November 18th. We have the Yankee Stadium Guest Book. This book was in the 1940s, was at Yankee Stadium, and it was signed by all the people who used to come to the stadium and visit the club inside the stadium. It's been rebacked, which means this binding, the red binding, has been added after the fact by Barry Halper, who's a lifelong collector, and he was friendly with a lot of these members of the Yankees. The book is signed in this format, and it has the date here, 5/28/1946 is when it started becoming signed. The first signer in here is actually Bill Dickey, and you do have Dan Topping and a bunch of other players throughout the first handful of pages, about 30 to 40 pages, but these first couple pages were more or less signed by the guests. They could put the date, the name, their street address, and a lot of these people are big New York socialites at the time. There's entrepreneurs, there's business owners. The list of people is extraordinary. There's thousands and thousands of people from the late 1940s who attended the stadium. So if you had any family members at the time that might have been there, it's possible that they could have been in this book here. The list of names just keeps going on. There are a few Hall of Famers sprinkled within these pages here, but it's really in the back of the book where all the magic happens for this item. So you have about 30 pages in the book of just different autographs, all in great condition still. The book is really, really well kept. And then as we get to the back, you'll see it just keeps on going. There's cartoonists who did sketches, and the names, even on these first 30 or 40 pages, there's some really great names that kind of get hidden by all the big-time Hall of Famers in the back, which we'll get to here in a second. So starting the back area is actually a little handwritten note by Little Ray Kelly. Not a big name, but he was actually Babe Ruth's official mascot. So he writes a little note here, talks about his time as Babe Ruth's mascot, and just a nice little full-page letter there. It's in great condition. And then we have the section where the Yankees themselves actually started signing this book. And not just the Yankees, but there's players from all over in these sections mixed in, although it's primarily Yankees. You have Frank Home Run Baker, Babe Ruth, which is nearly perfect. It's got to be a 9 or 10 condition. Right below Ruth, you have DiMaggio. So you have the combination of Ruth and DiMaggio right next to each other. You've got Joe McCarthy, Wally Pipp, Phil Rizzuto, Tommy Henrich, just a lot of great names here. Waite Hoyt, Mel Allen. The list continues on here. You have Johnny Mize, Don Larson, a lot of the 1950s and later Yankees, Ed Lopat, Skowron, Bobby Murcer, Joe Pepitone, Sparky Lyle. Really, Mel Allen signed it again here. It looks like Pepitone actually signed it twice. And then you have American League players, which you do have some Yankees in this section as well, but you have some other big names. Ed Walsh, Cy Young, Bob Feller, Lefty Grove, very difficult autograph in great condition there. Lefty Gomez right below, and Whitey Ford right next to him there. You've got Mickey Mantle in a perfect condition on the bottom, right next to Yogi Berra. I believe that's George Sisler right above there. Charlie Gehringer, Bobby Doerr, some Chief Bender, really big name Hall of Fame guys that are very difficult to get. And some other American Leaguers here as well. Jimmie Foxx, Tris Speaker, Connie Mack, Ty Cobb, Dave Winfield's even on there, Earl Weaver, just a lot of really big names. Harmon Killebrew. Then you go to the National League. Book keeps on going here. You have Warren Spahn, Tommy Lasorda, Duke Snider, Don Zimmer, Robin Roberts, Enos Slaughter, Luis Aparicio. You even have a Derek Jeter. So it looks like this was probably in the mid-90s. This is an early Derek Jeter signature. Jeter signed it there, and a lot of the 90s Yankees actually were able to get into this book and sign as well. Bernie Williams, Stoudemire, Zimmer signed it again there. Paul O'Neill, David Cohn, Darryl Strawberry, Goose Gossage. The list just keeps going on and on, but one of my favorite parts of this entire book right here, there is a full page written in the hand of the late Bob Shepard, who was the longtime Yankee announcer, and he actually writes out my first Yankee lineup, April 1951, and he spells out the positions. First base, Johnny Mize. Second base, Jerry Coleman. Shortstop, Phil Rizzuto. Goes all the way through the lineup, Mickey Mantle, Yogi Berra, and he just pretty much writes out his story to all Yankee fans, signs it in 1996, and this book is amongst hundreds of Hall of Fame autographs in there. It's really capped off by this amazing Bob Shepard full-page note there. Bob Shepard autographs are a few $100s themselves, so this entire book is a one-of-a-kind item, and it's live right now in the auction. You can only bid for another couple weeks, so I would recommend getting in there and taking a look at that, and it's steinerauctions.com, and you can bid until November 18th.